Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the top 25 rankings for the college football um, season that's coming up. And it's still a little bit away, but this is just my early week 1 top 25 because I wanted to go over it. And a little thing we're going to be doing next season for the college football season is every single week we'll be doing one of these. Just a quick top 25, who I got, change up the rankings. So you could call me Stephen A. Smith. I'm kidding. But anyways, here we go. We will be going from 25 all the way down to 1, of course. And if you guys do happen to have your favorite team in this top 25 list, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite team is for college football. And I will do some crazy college football stuff over the summer, going into college football 27. Um, and yeah, I'm excited for the new season of football. But first, let's let summer come first. I don't want to rush that first. Anyways, we'll start at 25. So I have Boise State at 25. They are actually going into the Pac-12 again. The Pac-12 is back, and they're looking to represent the group of, I believe, 6 teams in the playoffs. Maddox Madsen is a steady hand at QB, and they've always had a dominant run game. They've lost some guys to the portal, unfortunately, but they've replaced them with some solid backup players. Well, backups now, starters, and who want to prove something. The blue turf obviously is going to be a graveyard for any opponent this year and every year. They're most likely a small school to cause some absolute chaos if they can get to the postseason. I don't think, if I'm hypothetically was going to say if Boise State was going to go to the playoffs, I don't think they will, but it depends on their schedule, of course. It depends on if they do not lose any games. If they do not lose any games, and if they win every game this year, 100% yes, they're going to the playoffs. So that is number 25, Boise State. Number 24, the Florida Gators. It was a roller coaster of a season. It was kind of a downhill season. They're trying to bounce back with John Summerall and a new QB and Aaron Thilo. I believe I said that right. They've got a lot of speed at the wide receiver position with like Vernell Brown, the third, and the backfield is actually deep. The defense was a mess last year, but Summerall is known for fixing those defenses up most of the time. It always is a tough road for the SEC, but a team going to the swamp to play in Gainesville, I have a big feeling that the Gators, yes, their schedule was hard last year. It probably is just as hard this year, but I do think they will have some improvements. Hopefully, because I'm a Texas fan, hopefully we get revenge and beat them this year. Anyways, just stay tuned for other SEC teams that I talk about as well. And try to guess where your SEC team is going to be if you're a fan of any like Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss. But speaking of SEC, once again, at number 23, I have the Vols, Tennessee. The Vols are getting big on their QBs. I mean, they have 2 QBs to choose from. Josh Heupel's offense is always fast, so whoever starts is going to put up massive numbers. Their defense is still a work in progress, but they've got some young studs on the defensive line, and if one of those QBs turn out to be a superstar, Tennessee could 100%, 110% go top 10. Tennessee, I just don't know. They haven't proven yet. They don't have big names, I feel like, to where I would say, yeah, they're gonna be top 10. I'm gonna have them at 23, and obviously I think they can get down to top 10 if they just have a couple games in the year, and I see if they're okay. Yeah, Tennessee's got some good players. They're not 23 worth. They are probably 13 worth, maybe even 5 worth, maybe even top 5. I mean, anything can happen in college football with the transfer portal now, but yes, so. At number 23, we got Penn State, which is basically the Iowa State East. Now that Matt Campbell is the coach and brought half his team with him, Ethan Grunkmeyer, I believe is how you say his name, is the guy at QB, and people are hyped to see what he can do in the new system that they have. I don't know what happened with Penn State last year. Something happened to Penn State last year, and it looked like a roller coaster that broke in the middle and just collapsed. They lost to UCLA, who lost like 5 straight with Nico Imaliava. I don't know what happened, but they have a lot of talent. It might take a minute for them all to get grooving in the flow. The defense is always solid because Campbell always has his team ready to play. They're a bit of a wild card, but I do have Penn State at 22 and going to 21. I'm happy for this one, but 21 is SMU. As a Texas fan, I do support SMU somewhat because they're Texas as well. So I'm happy with this. SMU has actually been killing it in the ACC thanks to their quarterback, Kevin Jennings. Bro is a dog. That dude is thrown for miles, and I believe he's going to go to the draft next year. I'm almost positive. They went out and got Kendrick Rafael to lead the backfield, so the offense is going to be very balanced with their quarterback and their running back. Rhett Lachey is an offensive genius, so they're going to put up points on pretty much everybody, and they're definitely a dark horse to win the conference if Miami slips up. So, Canes, if you lose to SMU, I don't know if they actually play each other, but if Miami slips up, SMU is coming right behind you. I don't know about Clemson. We'll see. I have no idea what Clemson's on for this year. All right, so at number 20, I have Houston. Houston is a team nobody is talking about, but Willie Fritz is building something serious there. Connor Wayman is a vet at QB now. He's been in college for a while. They have some great weapons, including the Oregon transfer, McKee Hughes. Their offensive line is way bigger and more experienced than it was last year. I think Houston actually got into the rankings last year at one point. I forgot what week, but they did get in the rankings. So shout out to Houston for doing that. Yeah, their defense is solid, and they play a style that just frustrates opponents, and it's really annoying. But don't be surprised if they pull off a few upsets that can lead them into the rankings. And I have them starting the season at 20 because I just think Houston is actually a very underrated team. And no, it's not because I'm a Texas fan. Nothing to do with that. This is a little bit of an interesting one, but number 19, we're now in the teens. Number 19, I have the Washington Huskies. Washington. All right. Washington fans were stressed because Devin Williams Jr. entered the portal, but he's back and ready to carry the team. He's a total playmaker who can win games with his legs or his arm. The defense is coached by Ryan Walters, so you know they're going to be disciplined and tough. They have lost some key weapons on offense, so Williams is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But if he plays like a Heisman candidate, the Huskies will be right back in their mix, just like they were a few years ago in the national championship level. But at number 18, I have the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's the same old Iowa, elite defense, questionable offense, but they might actually score some points this year because they brought in a couple of transferred quarterbacks. They do have a superstar running back from the FCS level named L.J. Phillips Jr. Their safety, Zach Letmer, is a ball hawk and is probably going to have like 6 to 8 to 10, maybe go even higher, of interceptions. So if the offense can just be average and Iowa's going to have a great defense, they're going to win a lot of 17 to 10 scored games probably. They're the ultimate boring but effective team. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that take. But going to number 17, I have the Louisville Cardinals. Jeff Brum got his guy in Lincoln. I believe how to say his name is Kienholz. A transfer from Ohio State who's ready to show out. Anybody from Ohio State is pretty much guaranteed great. They also have Isaac Brown at running back. He is a stud. And that kid is lightning in a bowl. I remember playing with him on College Football 26. That guy's fast. And, yeah, I mean, he's a lightning in a bottle whenever he touches the ball. The ACC schedule is low-key light for them this year. They could be honestly on a massive winning streak. The defense has had a lot of new faces, so they need to get up. They need to gel quickly because they could be a very good team. If the offense is as explosive as it looks on paper. Louisville is a oh my god, my controller disconnected. A legit contender. So I could definitely see it happen. But yeah, I think Louisville at 17 is pretty good. Now, number 16, I have the Utah Utes. The Utah Utes. I don't even think I've watched a single game of Utah, but I just know that they are. What happened to my list? Okay, I lost my list. I just know that Utah is a very good team. There we go. We found it. Okay. By the way, guys, I wrote this all down, so please like the video because this took hours to write this. Anyways, Utah is moving on from the Whittington era. Morgan Scaley taking the lead, and they kept quarterback Devon Dampier to lead the way. They lost a lot of guys to Michigan through the portal, so the roster's looking a little thin in some spots, but Scaley is a defensive guru. He is a defensive mind coach, so you know that they're still going to be hitting people absolutely hard, messing them up, throwing their entire team off. They're probably going to rely on a lot of grit and tough coaching to stay competitive, but in the Big 12, it's going to be really difficult to do that. Never count Utah out, though, because this year might be an uphill battle. So I have Utah at 16. Apologies, my nose is going nuts right now. Ugh, allergies. Okay. Number 15. This is going to be a bit of an interesting one, but at number 15, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yes, Bama is in a weird spot, but that's because they're starting a QB that wasn't recruited by Saban for the first time in forever. It's a battle between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. So whoever wins has a lot of pressure on them. Luckily, they still have Ryan Williams, a QB, wide receiver. And that dude is a little freak of nature who catches everything. He did have a weird season last year, but still, I think he's a great receiver. Their defense is young, and they lost a little bit of beef on the D-line for the draft this year and transfer portal, so they might struggle against power run teams. It's definitely a transition year, but a transition year for Bama is still top 15. Anything can happen for the Tide. So, yeah. Number 14, it's a whole new vibe, but in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Wolverines with Kyle Whittingham taking over the program. He bought a bunch of his hitters from Utah with him, so the defense is going to play physical and mean. Everybody's hyped to see the 5-star QB, who's now in his sophomore year, Bryce Underwood, taking over at QB because his ceiling is just through the roof. He's insanely good. They're still going to run the ball. I mean, it's Michigan. Without Michigan, what are you going to do? Run the ball. Jordan Marshall, but passing game should actually be a threat now. If they can balance it out, this team could actually be really good. The Ohio State game at the end of the year is going to be a total bloodbath. I am stoked to see Michigan, Ohio State this upcoming season, because I think Michigan is actually going to be a really good, maybe I wouldn't say a dark horse because it's Michigan. Michigan's always going to be a threat, but I think that they're going to be very close to the level of Ohio State. I don't know 100%, but yeah. Excuse me, I had to clear my voice. You did not hear that voice crack. Okay. At number 13, I have Missouri. Missouri is just going to run the ball down your throat with Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts, which is a terrifying duo. They've got a new QB in Austin Simmons, who was a transfer from Ole Miss, who got taken over by Trinidad Chambliss, who has a ton of potential if he can stay on the field. Their schedule is actually brutal, though, because they play Georgia, Texas, Alabama. So we're going to have to find out if they're legit pretty early, because those games are early in the year. Their defense is solid, though, and they're relying on a lot of portal guys in the secondary. If they run game stays dominant, they'll be a very tough one for any team like Texas, Georgia, Alabama. I believe they play Tennessee and Florida as well. But yeah. Whew, I need a deep breath, bro. I've talked a lot. Okay. At number 12, we have USC. Lincoln Riley finally has a roster that isn't just one superstar and a bunch of randoms. J.D. Mayav is a senior now, and he's got a massive arm, plus his entire offensive line is back to keep him clean. They always have elite wide receivers like Malachi Lemon, who's going to the draft this year. And Tanook Hines looks like he's the next step to be the superstar wide receiver there. Their defense is still a big question mark, especially with the new coordinator coming in. But if the defense is even just okay and USC's offense is good enough to outscore literally anybody, USC is a very solid team next year. They could be in the college football playoff. We're kind of getting into that area where I think teams can get into the college football playoff. And next up at 11 is BYU. Now, BYU, I don't know what happened with you last year. You were looking like fantastic team, but your schedule showed because you played Tech twice and you got absolutely belted twice to Tech. So, BYU is basically the veteran squad of the Big 12 after winning 11 games 2 years. Bear Bachmeier is that guy at QB, and having LJ Martin back at running back means their ground game is going to be punishing as can be. They did lose their defensive coordinator to Michigan, but their culture is still strong, so it might not even matter at all. They're playing with a massive chip on their shoulder because people still sleep on them. Expect them to be at the top of the Big 12 standings all season long. I really like this take that I made because Bear Bachmeier is a good quarterback. I just don't know if he's proven to beat good teams because he got smoked by Tech twice. But he is actually not that bad. So, I have him at 11. Anyways, drum roll because we are going into the top 10, and it starts with Oklahoma, the Sooners. Oh boy, my favorite team. Texas fan, by the way. I know I've said that a million times. Okay. Everything for the Sooners depends on John Mateer's health because he was very injury prone last year. But when he's on, he is on, and he is one of the best in the country. Brent Venables has that defense playing fast and aggressive, especially with Peyton Bowen roaming the secondary. They have some serious speed at wide receiver with Isaiah Satania. So they're going to be taking a lot of deep shots. The run game was kind of mid last year, so they really need to figure out how to help Mateer. And if it all clicks, Oklahoma could be that one sleeper SEC team. Oklahoma is honestly a sleeper in any SEC games because they just look boring. I mean, their team's always not that bad. They just look boring. Their program looks boring. There's something about it. I don't know. You got like Georgia. Oh, yeah, I know Georgia, the Bulldogs. Oh, yeah, Texas. I know the Texas. Oh, yeah, Alabama. Oklahoma. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I have Oklahoma at 10. So, whew, pretty good. Okay. Number 9, the Aggies, Texas A&M. They're putting all their trust. I don't know if he's staying yet. He could be going to the draft. I forgot. I'm not going to lie. I wrote this list a little bit a while ago. But the Aggies are putting all their trust in Marcel Reed, and honestly, the kid is a dark horse for the Heisman. Mike Elko, he's got to stop eating too many burgers, man. But anyways, he's a defensive mastermind, and he's used to build like a lot of defensive front from the portal that's going to be sacking everybody in the SEC. They've lost a lot of playmakers, but Mario Craver is fast enough to make it up for his own. The main concern is the offensive line, but they brought in a bunch of SEC vets to try and fix that. And if they can survive a brutal November, they're definitely playoff bound because look at their schedule in November. It looks like a blood bath. I think I've said that before. Oh my goodness, I've talked so much. Okay. Number 8. Top 8. LSU. Yes, they pulled off one of the biggest moves of the decades by hiring Lane Kiffin. So the vibes in Baton Rouge are immaculate. Kiffin already secured a top-tier quarterback, Sam Leavitt from Arizona State, and the number 1 recruit, Lamar Brown, who is going to be all gas, no brakes running back. So they kept their defensive coordinator, Blake Baker, too, which is huge because their defensive actually has had a pulse since last year with the Weeks brothers. Whit Weeks, of course, leading the linebackers. The Tigers are going to be a problem for the entire SEC. So be ready for some 50-point games, possibly, and a lot of trolling on Twitter from Kiffin. Going to number 7, I have the Miami Hurricanes. Yes, you're looking at one of them. The Canes are on the left side of the screen, so yeah, that team, Miami, is finally looking like the U again after almost winning it all last year. But I'm sorry, when you have Sid the Sloth as your quarterback, why does this keep turning off? Sid the Sloth as your quarterback, it's not gonna happen. But he's gone because you got Darian Mensah possibly. But if you don't get Darian Mensah, which I don't think he is at the time, I think he's staying at Duke. Excuse me. I do not think he is going to go to Miami. So I do have Miami kind of going down at 7, which is massive because the QB is so important. But their O-line is led by Jackson Cantwell, who is a literal giant, is probably going to go number 1 in the draft eventually for offensive linemen. Even though they have lost some star power on the edge with like Ruben Bain and Francis Mauigoa is going to go to the draft as well on the offensive side. Their depth is deep, even if they got rid of so many players. So they're easily a team to beat in the ACC, and it's not even close. But they also can have a great season to where they can get to 7 because they have so many big games and they have so many good players on their team that I think they can actually be pretty good. Okay. Right next to Miami is Miami's favorite team to mess around with after last year, but it's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So the Irish are leaning heavy on their defense last year for a good reason. Leonard Moore is a total lockdown corner. Their quarterback, C.J. Carr, who, by the way, please, guys, stop saying it's Derek Carr's brother, because it's not. He's finally a vet now, and they actually got him some real targets like Quincy Porter from Ohio State. The atmosphere in South Bend is also going to be insane because this is the most modern their offense has ever looked. They brought in Keon Keeley to fix the pass rush, so scoring on these guys is going to be like a nightmare. They're definitely a lock for a deep playoff run if Carr can stay healthy. I love this take. I love it. Oh my gosh. It's like burning hot right now in my office. Okay. Number 5, the Indiana Hoosiers. Yes, you won the Natty, but also you're going back because Fernando Mendoza is gone. Fernando Mendoza is gone. It's unfortunate. But I have them at 5. The defending champs are actually still elite, which is kind of a flex considering everyone thought they were a one-hit wonder. They lost their QB to the league. They just replaced him with Josh Hoover, who is literally just a cannon of an arm. Coach Cignetti is a portal wizard and brought in a top-tier class to keep the momentum going, keeping Carter Smith to protect the blind side with a huge win from them during the off-season. So do not be surprised if this team makes a big run again to the playoffs, throughout the playoffs. National championships up for grabs. We'll see. Finally, down into the top 5 after the 5th one. We're at the 4. And at number 4, I have the Texas Longhorns. It's finally the Arch Manning show in Austin. I'm not even going to lie, guys. I watched that Texas-Michigan game in the Citrus Bowl game. He looked like a different human being. He looked insanely well. So, Arch Manning could be great. The hype is actually unreal now. Sark went crazy in the portal. You got Cam Coleman, who's one of the best wide receivers in the transfer portal. They also have Colin Simmons on defense, and that man is a straight-up problem for any offensive tackle. The O-line is a bit mid compared to the rest of the team, but Arch is mobile enough to make plays happen anyways, and if he lives up to the name, Texas is going to be back for real this time. They're going to be really good. So, at number 3, I have the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's always a team that you just don't want to see on your schedule because Kirby Smart doesn't rebuild, he just reloads. Gunnar Stockton is back at quarterback after a Heisman-caliber run, and he's way more of a dual threat than people give him credit for. The defense is led by KJ Bolden, who is probably the best safety in the world right now, and not even going to cap. But even though they have a ton of wide receivers, they just grabbed Isaiah Canyon from the portal to keep the offense explosive. Expect them to be the bullies in the SEC per usual. I hate Georgia with a passion, but they're a great team. Number 2, Oregon. I don't know why I don't like Oregon, because they've done nothing to me, but they just annoy me because they get to the playoffs every year and lose every year. It's just like, why? Like, why? You're wasting the spot. But, Ogie, 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 Oregon, whatever you want to call it, Ogie. I call it Ogie. Ogie is low-key terrifying, though, because Dante Moore actually stayed for another year instead of dipping at the draft because, I mean, who would want to go to the Jets? Um, the entire first string D-line did the same thing, which is wild. They're basically an NFL unit playing on Saturdays. Dane Lanning is out here collecting 5 stars like Pokemon, especially with the freshman wide receiver Decorian Moore, who's a straight-up burner. They also got upgraded their secondary with Core Parrish. So there's literally 0 holes in this roster, and I think the Ducks have actually the biggest chance to win it all if they have the experience that they have. They are just in the hardest division or conference in the entire college football nation. That's the only thing that's holding them back. But this team's very good. And at number 1, you guys probably already know what it is because I haven't said their name yet, but it is the Ohio State Buckeyes, who is honestly just a cheat code every year, and this year and easily the favorites for the Natty. They're returning with the craziest trio with Julian Sand, Jeremiah Smith, and Bo Jackson holds down field in the backfield. Losing Caleb Downs, though, does hurt, and they just went into the portal and grabbed high-level replacements like it was nothing. So their offensive line's basically a brick wall with 4 starters, so Sand is going to have all day to cook. Jeremiah Smith played like he did last year. It's literally, like, it's GG for the whole entire nation. So I have Ohio State at 1. And if you guys do disagree or agree with the list, comment down below your thoughts. I think this is a perfect list, in my opinion, but I will catch y'all next time for some more football, more videos, more everything, because we have more content to go through. And again, week 2 of the college football season, I'll do another top 25 list every single week of next year. So I'll catch y'all next time for another college football video and another video on the channel. Peace.